What's good, YouTube? So this is a video, man, how to make 6 figures in box trucking. As y'all can see, I'm in a box truck right now. I want to go in depth on how to make 6 figures, net 6 figures in box trucking. So first, you're gonna have to understand what type of business are you trying to emulate. Do you want to emulate an over-the-road box trucking business or trucking business, or do you want to emulate a regional or local box trucking business? That's the first thing that you want to understand soon as you start your box trucking business. Depending on which type of model that you select will depend on the type of gross that you will earn each and every week. But because your gross is $8,000 does not mean that you will be taking home $8,000.
What?
You will have to know that at least half of that $8,000, at least, that's if you're doing good, like you cut down a lot of expenses. At least 50% of that $8,000 is going towards expenses. You are a genius when it comes to lowering and mitigating your expenses in trucking. You take it home $4,000 potentially. Understand this as well. How big of a fleet do you want? Do you want to have just 1 truck, 2 trucks, 3 trucks? Or do you want to have 20? It's all depending on what exactly you want to have. Depending on how many trucks you want to have within your fleet. Third thing to point out, do you want to buy or rent box trucks? There are multiple companies out here that are helping people get into the box trucking business by allowing you to rent their box trucks. One, for instance, is Enterprise. Ryder is another one. Penske is another one. So you want to understand what type of business model when it comes to owning or renting a box truck do you want to fall in line with. Just a real quick pro tip. If you rent a box truck, expect to bring home less money than if you go out and purchase a box truck with your own money or a loan or however you want to do it. The only con to that is you will be paying for repairs out of pocket, which can get very, 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 very expensive, especially right now what's going on and how trucking has kind of taken off due to YouTube and other platforms. So they've kind of marked everything up, not just when you're purchasing a box truck or a truck in general, but even if you are getting it repaired on. So that's one thing you want to keep in mind. You're going to be bringing in more income every single week, every single month. But if your truck goes into the shop, you're going to be spending a decent amount of money to get this truck repaired, and there's no telling how long it's going to take for you to get your truck back. So that's one thing, that's a con that comes with purchasing the truck yourself. The pro on purchasing the truck is, like I said, that's all I gotta say is you're going to be taking home more money. Like, who wouldn't want more money? So going into renting a truck, you can rent semis or you can rent box trucks. It's all up to what type of business model you want to create. If you want to rent a box truck, the con to renting a box truck is you will take home less money because paying for a rental will cause you to have more expenses. You have to pay weekly or monthly on your rental. It's going to cost more than a regular, note that you would pay from getting it from a dealership. It's going to cost more than that, significantly more than that. And you're going to have to pay per mile. So a lot of times, I believe right now, the average per mile that you're paying for your truck is 20 cents per mile. At least that's what I got. And the pro to renting is you're paying for maintenance already. So when anything happens, you're not coming out of pocket a penny outside of paying that 20 cents per mile. Another pro to renting is you don't have to spend all that money to get a truck. In my opinion, that's a big enough pro to convince me to get into trucking, because I don't have to spend 20 grand to start driving. And I'ma still, even if I spend that 20 grand or I pay $1,000 deposit on a rental, I'ma still be faced with the same issues regardless of how I got in the game. I'ma still be fighting for loads, and I'ma still be fighting for trying to hit $2 a mile off the freaking load board. So keep that in mind. Also, when you're renting, you're not necessarily tied into the truck as much. You don't have as much invested. So hitting that profit line, you're going to hit that profit line, taking your company into the green zone a lot sooner than if I spent $20,000 on the truck as a down payment, because a decent truck right now is going for 60 grand, 50 grand. That's how much a decent box truck is going for, and that's roughly around how much a decent semi is going for as well. So keep those things in mind. Also, another benefit to renting a box truck or a truck in general is you know that the truck that you're getting is going to be well maintained, and it's not going to be a lemon. So you know that when you get that truck, it's more than likely that you don't have to worry about it going down anytime soon. Whereas if you're buying a box truck or a truck, unless you take a really good mechanic who will go through that truck with a fine-tooth comb, the chances that you get a lemon is a lot higher. So keep these things in mind when you're getting into the trucking industry. There's multiple ways of making money within the trucking industry. You can operate off the load board, which is what the majority of truckers do that are owner-operators. You can contact local businesses. You can contact furniture companies. You can contact different small businesses that's in your area that could utilize your truck, and you can write up a contract or sign a contract with that company, and now you have a dedicated lane. Or you can go through a broker, develop a relationship with a broker that pays good. Real quick point, that pays good, to have them give you lanes every single week so you don't have to worry about the load board. In my opinion, after going over the road, I've been out to Cali. I'm from Cleveland, so I done took a load from the Midwest all the way out to Cali, all the way up to Washington, all the way down to Texas. I done been all over the place. And in my opinion, especially renting, I have higher expenses, so I have to think a little bit more strategic when I'm trying to make some money for this business. In my opinion, it's more profitable to stay regional, or even better, local, than it is chasing that $8,000 a week over the road. Because even though you're not grossing as much, you're going to keep a lot more money in your pocket. And that's going to give you, when you're doing regional and local lanes, that's going to allow you to keep your expenses as low as possible. At the end of the day, that profit and loss statement that you have for your company, or at least I hope you have, that profit and loss statement is going to tell the story. Regardless if you made $10,000, and out of that $10,000, because you was operating terribly, you might have been lucky to keep $1,000 of that $10,000 and put that $1,000 in your pocket. But guess what? We're new businesses, so that $1,000 has to get reinvested into your business, right? Starting up these businesses, you're not necessarily going to be able to pay yourself up front. You're going to have to grind. You're going to have to pay what you have to pay, and everything else goes right back into the business. The benefit to box trucking that I see is you don't need a CDL for driving a box truck. So you have a larger pool of potential drivers that you can pull from compared to if you're operating a CDL model trucking company. I hope this video helped you guys. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I'll get back to mostly everybody's comment. I try my best to respond to everybody's comments. And go ahead and leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. To get more banger videos, information-packed videos, go ahead and subscribe. I upload on a weekly basis. I'm going to be dropping tips, jewels, bangers, little treasures in my videos to help you get into the game. Not only help you get into the game, but also help you stay in the game and also create wealth for you, your loved ones, your friends, whoever you want to create wealth with. It's your boy RJ. Subscribe to the freaking channel. Stop playing. It's your boy RJ. I'm out. Deuces.